Another important early question that nurses ask at the beginning of the complaint process, whether they're anticipating a complaint being filed or whether they received a notice of complaint investigation from the Nevada State Board of Nursing, is do I need or should I hire an attorney? So this may sound a little self-serving to talk about that, since that's pretty much one of the areas that I specialize in heavily. But let me explain to you why you should really consider this. First of all, the stress level is extremely high when you get that letter or anticipate a letter of complaint. By the time nurses get to me, oftentimes they've already been terminated from their job. They're waiting for a letter or they got the letter. So they want to know if they're going to be able to be reemployed. Can they go out and get a job while they're under investigation, and all these other issues? These are all very stressful issues, and you need someone with experience who's been in the trenches with lots of nurses to know what you can expect, what the outcome could possibly be. And at this point, having done this for 12 years in the administrative law area for nurses, I can tell you that I've seen it all, what can pretty much happen in these cases. And although some disciplinary measures will evolve over time, I've got a pretty good feel for what's going to happen with your case. And I can usually narrow down one or two options that are going to occur going forward. So really what I try and do in the initial consultation is to give nurses hope, a sense of hope. Most nurses are extremely conscientious, they're caring, and they are their own worst critic. So they are extremely concerned, sorrowful about what has occurred, if something did occur, and they want to right the situation. And again, I try and encourage nurses to move forward with their profession, to realize that they still have a future in nursing. And that's just one aspect of it. That's the first thing, though, that I try and do. The second thing is I try and give the nurses some idea of what's going to happen in the case. And most nurses, frankly, they aren't skilled in how to prepare themselves to respond to the nursing board. And that's why getting an attorney is important, to be your advocate. When I get on the case, or any attorney, frankly, then the board is going to start talking with us and not with you anymore. So the stress of getting that phone call to have to talk to an investigator or to staff counsel goes away, because they're going to be calling and talking to me. And on occasion, we can get you on the phone if we feel like we need to explain things better. Sometimes it is worthwhile to have you on the phone to talk to the attorney, to the investigator, or someone else at the board and decide what to do. So, and explain your side of the story so they can decide what to do. So also going to a hearing, or whether you should go to a hearing or not go to a hearing, whether to take an offer by the board or board staff. Oftentimes investigators will kick out an initial offer to settle, which sometimes I don't recommend. For example, if the first offer about your case is to voluntarily surrender your license, well, you're going to want to know if you should do that or not. And in many instances, if you have a chance to explain your side of the story and lay out the facts and the mitigating circumstances, or to have proof and deny those allegations, you can avoid a voluntary surrender request or a suspension of your license. So knowing what your options are and how to negotiate the case to a successful conclusion, which means that the concerns of the board are met at the same time as your livelihood and your professional license. These need to be weighed very carefully. And when you get an attorney who has experience in this area, we're able to do that. We're able to evaluate this objectively, because we're not emotionally involved in the case. And as I mentioned, emotions can run very high. So the first step, there's no reason you can't reach out for an initial consultation. It is free, it is confidential, and I spend a lot of time, sometimes as much as an hour, talking to a nurse about the potential ramifications of their case and the facts of the case moving forward. So I encourage you to do that.